Kadosh Baruch Hu, Bachuni Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Setchem Leshalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we joined tonight by Sandra Weber, Sandra Levine, Michel Lafitte, Linda. Shabbat Shalom to you. And I can see that it's very wet in Norfolk. Norfolk. No, you really.
Rebecca.
Yes, gosh.
So I'm just bringing some light.
And also Shabbat Shalom to Phil and Anna, who are in Corfu. I hope you're enjoying the good weather in Corfu. It's quite late now in Spain, not in Greece, of course. So Shabbat Shalom, and as always, I won't see old people online because I have just a limited feed. And Deborah is here as well. Shabbat Shalom to you, Deborah. Let's continue with Yedid Nefesh on page 78. Yedid Nefesh Avarachamam Meshoch Avdecha El Retzonecha Yarus Avdecha Kemo Ayal Ishtachaveh mul hadarech yerav lo yedidotecha minofet suf vechol taham yalalai la 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 yalalai la 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 yalalai la 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 Yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala 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 la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la. Igalena ופרוס חביב עלי את סוכת שלומר תאיר ארץ מכבודך נגילה ונשמחה בר מהר אהוב כי במועד ופוננו כי מעולם ילה לילה לילה ילה לילה לילה ילה לילה 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 ילה לילה לילה ילה לילה לילה ילה לילה 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 ילה לילה לילה Yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la. I wanted to share with you a poem that my dear colleague Rabbi Rebecca Berg sent me this afternoon, which is called Good Bones by Maggie Smith. There is a swear word in it, so please forgive me. It's not me, it's the poet. It's written... Maggie Smith. Life is short, though I keep this for my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep for my children. the world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this for my children. For every bird, there's a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a child broken, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible. And for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you. Though I keep this for my children, I'm trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor, which is, I think, an American word, any decent realtor walking you through a real shithole chirps on about good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful. And I found it, exactly how I feel at the moment, kind of despair and hope, balancing between these two very strange emotions at the moment. We want to hope because we are the people of hope, but at the same time, we're really struggling. And we try to shield our children from that, but it's becoming more and more difficult. Okay, so let's go to page 86. Lai lai la la lai lai la da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 דהרו יקרא לבן ימבט וינצורכם כמו ועבד נהיים שמכם ולא יושפט שבו ונוחו ביום שבת שבו ונוחו ביום שבת דהראש נביא ואולמי ועוד ישע עשה עמי נטע שורק בתור כרמי ששבת בני עמי ששבת בני עמי la 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 da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. The camera is not the right one. Die die de chokhma lenafshecha vehicheter leroshecha נצר מצוות קדושך שמור שבת קודשך שמור שבת קודשך Page 91. So tell me when I can jump on the other side. Oh yes, no, I need to stay there.
There's a lady, there's a lady there. She can follow you. You do what you want. You do you. Yeah, she'll follow you. It's not live. You've got about 30-second delay.
Oh, okay, so I can go back there. Okay, Lecha Dodi on page 91. Lecha Dodi, do you know this one? Likrat Kala. Okay. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Mekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקוך הברכה. מראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורר קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Please stand and face the door. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 92, remain standing for the Baruchu. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Please be seated. We praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will set the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the host of heaven. We praise your God, whose word makes evening fall. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסור ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Please stand. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשורבך ובקומך, וגשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Please be seated. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, eternal one, are our God, and we are Israeli people, who have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witness your power, we praise your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accept your rule, then full of joy we sang together. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May your shelter and peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Please stand. And tonight we will say the Magen Avot Ve'imaot version of Yamidah, and it's in the sheet that I've distributed in a moment. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'emotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzrak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ahel HaGadol HaGibor ve'Anora, El Elyon קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות ואימהות בדברו, מחיה מתים במאמרו, ההל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם חצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד בעירה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד. מעון הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת, ומברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה לעם מדושני עונג, זכר למעשה וראשית. We read together the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, and God of those who came before us, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah. Great, mighty, and revered God, God transcendent, maker of heaven and earth. With a word you shielded our ancestors, with a phrase you give all things life, sacred God beyond compare, who took joy in providing rest for your people on your holy Shabbat day. We will serve you reverently, acknowledging on each and every day forever just who you are, the one to whom blessing goes, the one to whom thanksgiving is due, source of peace, who recalls the time of creation by sanctifying Shabbat, blessing the seventh day, and in holiness granting rest to a people overflowing with joy. Wow. We take a few moments for our own prayers. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל בני האדם. Shabbat Shalom, because this is how we greet each other on Shabbat, even though the notion of Shalom sometimes is a bit more difficult to grasp. It is probably one of the hardest Divrei Torah that I had ever to write. When Beverly Scheib spoke at the end of the morning service of Simchat Torah a couple of weeks ago about what had just started in Israel, first I thought, okay, it's another sad episode in the conflict between Israel and Palestine. And then I went online, as we do on Shabbat, right, to check what was happening there. Of course, on the day, the sheer magnitude of the attack was just emerging. And over the coming hours, coming days, we learned more and more. We heard about the high number of people murdered in their homes in horrible circumstances. about the people taken hostage. And then we heard about Israel's retaliation and the destructions in Gaza. We are in the midst of it now, and the situation changes all the time. Western leaders are flying to Israel to try to avoid a general conflagration. Many pro-Palestinian demonstrations are held in the Arab world and here in the West. But we have friends and families in Israel. And with the modern ways of communication, we can talk to them instantly. And if they don't respond, we are scared. Nobody can predict how the war is going to end, the cost in human lives and material destruction. But one thing is clear, there will be an after. There will be a time of reckoning for Israel and for Palestine. The war has completely changed the nature of this conflict, and a drastic change must occur. I try not to be too pessimistic, but with Hamas on one hand, a terrorist group which aim is simply to kill all Jews, of course, let's start with Israel, but wherever Jews are, and the most right-wing government Israel has ever had to suffer, the voice of peace is very dim. Even though we find ourselves in the thick of it now, let's try to make some sense of what is happening to our world right now. The first obvious consequence of the conflict is the sheer level of high emotions. And at present, it's impossible for both sides to listen to the pain of the other. Thousands of people have died. Hundreds are unaccounted for. And trauma is shared equally among Israelis and Palestinians. Yesterday evening, I don't know if you saw that, I watched Sky News. They have a special program on the war in Israel. And I saw an Israeli mother whose child was taken captive. She saw people being killed before her own eyes. The journalists tried to have a kind of civilized conversation with her, asking questions about how, as an Israeli, she could see the conflict finish. But suddenly, she became so angry, and she couldn't stop talking for almost 10 minutes, which for an interview on television is a lot. And the journalist couldn't say anything. Of course, it was a flow of words describing the horrors she witnessed, the horror she heard about. Her anger at the way Western media cover the war and the anti-Israel bias here, and her bewilderment of the pro-Palestinian rallies when nobody in the streets marched to condemn the Hamas atrocities. She spoke, as I said, for almost 10 minutes, which is really long, but nobody can stop an angry Israeli woman to speak her mind. And then we saw the terrible scenes in Gaza, where they bury their dead in a hurry, amidst piles of rubble. All these images talk directly to our fear, nourish our anger, and anything reasonable at the moment cannot be heard. And then there is something that, like one of my students yesterday, Lucy, when we're talking about the Israel-Palestine situation, she said something really good, and she said it very, very, very clearly. We as Jews, we are torn between our love for Israel, our care for Israel and for Jews everywhere in the world, and also our values that demand dignity for the Palestinians. She said to us, I would gladly like to march in favor of the Palestinians, but I cannot do so with people who are singing from the river to the sea, because this child, I don't know if people understand, it's a call for genocide. And we know that some Jews on the left have taken a much more radical stance, like Na'amod, a Jewish group fighting the occupation, which in itself is, I think it's not a bad cause. But they demonstrated yesterday with slogan that will necessarily alienate, thank you, most of us. So the slogan was, stop the genocide and the siege. Of course the siege of Gaza must end. The occupation must end, and both sides need to find a solution to restore Palestinians' dignity and Israel's security. But when we use this kind of word, stop the genocide. It smothers any attempt to even begin a conversation. And they're completely oblivious of the many organizations which, in the field in Israel, in the Israeli society, bringing both sides together, like the Bereaved Families Forum, Rabbis for Human Rights, and many others, trying to work every day to bring both sides together. The constant reference of the Shoah is completely immoral, and is of course counterproductive, because once you use these words, people don't listen anymore. If people are really serious about peace, they need to be creative and to find a new language. So for us Jews today, how do we navigate between our deep connection with everything Jewish in the world, with Israel, and our dismay at the way Palestinians are treated? It's an almost impossible conundrum, but certainly one that needs to be dealt with now, and by starting not to blame each other, because it's much more complicated than that. That leads me to another point, which is quite difficult to understand outside Jewish circles. And I'm not the kind of person who say us and they. It's not my way of seeing us as Jews in the society, but this particular point, you understand in a moment what I mean by that. So on Monday evening, I went online, I watched the communal memorial service that was organized at JW3 with organizations in London like Masorti UK, Liberal Judaism, Artseinu, etc. One of the Israeli speakers explained that he and his family, with 2 young children, were hiding, and they hid for 8 hours in a shelter, trying to remain silent because they were surrounded by gunshots, by people speaking Arabic, by people begging Hebrew and then killed. Horrible. And he said, we waited for 8 hours and we felt completely powerless, like our grandparents during the pogroms in Europe. And then the army came. We have to say, the Jewish people today live a golden age. Most of us live in democratic countries. We have a Jewish state that is now firmly established. And, I'm always trying to remind people, it's the size of Wales. It's not the Soviet Union. It's not like this huge colonial empire. It's not like Britain, who occupied a quarter of the world. It's the size of Wales. Making many, many mistakes, and I'm the first to say that. But the thing is, we Jews were very good at criticizing ourselves. But not so long ago, 40% of our people were slaughtered. The memory of these events, the witnesses of these events are still alive. These memories are still vivid, and the trauma is very deep, deep, deep into our psyche. So on Simchat Torah, what they did when they killed more Jews than ever since the Shoah, they conjured up memories that we believe belong to the past, and reminding us how frail our circumstances are. And it's something we tend to forget, but it's only 3 generations, let's say, who live safely out of 1,000 or the hundreds of generations of Jews since, the last time there was a Jewish state. We have to remember that. And this is what came out of these discussions with my Israeli friends, who are kind of, of course, they were completely ignoring the problem anymore, finding no solution, feeling that, we've got one of the strongest armies, we will be fine. And then, a mistake, which was actually not to be able to spot the signs of what was coming. It's a massive intelligence failure, of the intelligence services in Israel. Another victim of a conflict is truth based on facts. And it's not just of a conflict, it's in our world today, in the world of social media, opinions are now equal to facts. So you can have someone saying an opinion contradicted by facts, but it's okay, it's my opinion, therefore it's valid. It doesn't matter if a view is supported by evidence, and the perfect example is this terrible story of this hospital in Gaza. So, of course, 471 deaths, 200 deaths. Who did that? Hamas, Israel. And then whatever comes out of this, of the investigation, nobody will actually listen to the results. Those who are convinced that they are right will say, this, actually reinforces what I believed. And those who don't believe that, they will say, whatever, I know better than people who have made this investigation. We are drawn today in a binary world where one has to be wrong for the other to be right, and the end justifies any means to reach this goal. I started this Dvar Torah by telling you that this is probably one of the hardest, and it really torn my heart. Like you, like all of us watching online, and like all Jews in the world, I'm torn between my love for Israel, and I'm profoundly Zionist. I'm coming out as a Zionist tonight. Is it more difficult to come out as a Zionist than to come out as gay? I don't know.
Yes,
Probably, yes, today, yeah. And my Zionism is the one that is carried by organizations like Pfertzel, respect for both people, but a Jewish state. I'm torn between my love for Israel, my loyalty to my people, and I'm very tribal here tonight, and my worldview, my values that demand peace and dignity for all human beings. Of course, now it's not really the moment to say that, because emotions are so raw, views are antagonistic. But we must remember that a time will come when violence recedes. A time will come when reconstruction begins. I just saw a little clip of Noah Yuval Hariri on German television, and he said, look, Germans, Jews in the past, they were not the best friends. Today, 2023, Israel and Germany are strong allies. Jews in Germany are safe and thriving. So if it works there in these circumstances, it can work in Israel and Palestine. And this morning I was talking to Sandra, I know she's online, our president, and she reminded me as well, the situation in Northern Ireland, where before 1998 you would have never imagined that there would be a peace agreement. People who hated each other managed to find a way to work together. So of course, to reach that, we need a strong political will, and at the moment I don't know, it's not the time, but I don't really know who really carries this will for peace. Both sides. I'm not criticizing one over the other, and I stand them face to face. I don't know who talks about peace anymore. It requires also a strong involvement of a civil society to tell people in power, you can't do whatever you want because we want something. We want peace. We want to live in peace with each other. But this time will come because now we've reached the end of this situation, ignoring each other, and now the war is going on. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's going to be painful, but when the time is right, I want us as a community a little contribution, but we can do that. I want us to be part of this group who will build peace, and I want us to play a role to end this situation that leads only to more violence and to more death. I think it's time for the diaspora Jews to speak out and to say to our Israeli brethren, we are with you and we want to help you finding peace with your neighbors, because neither the Israelis nor the Palestinians will leave voluntarily this land. So either you go down the road of expulsion or killing, what Hamas wants to do with the Israeli Jews, and what, how can't remember his name, it's kind of what Smotrich, who said, I'm going to finish what Ben-Gurion didn't have the courage to do. Okay, so when you are in this situation, there's only one winner, and we need to promote a situation where both are winning. It's going to take time, it's going to take energy, but I think it's also safer for us here, because out there, what I saw in the demonstration in London, you've got a lot of people who are angry at the Jews they have no idea what they're talking to be honest with you, they're quite ignorant, but don't quote me and delete this passage. But, that's where we are today. So much emotion, so much violence, and it has to stop. It has to stop. Because that's not the world I want our children to grow up in. Thank you. I feel much better. Gosh, I spent the week thinking, what on earth, and I'm going to... Because I can tell you I have nothing to hide. What I really wanted to do the whole week, to stay under my duvet and cry. Because it's too horrible, and I can see that Linda is giving some news. Linda, you should stop watching the news, because it's just inducing so much stress. But at the same time, we need to know what's happening. And being together, like we are tonight, like I was with this lovely couple, Hannah and Michael, who got married, is kind of, this is what we need to be, this is what we need to do. And believe me, I cry equally for these terrible people murdered like dogs in Israel, and the Palestinians who are being bombed down. And of course, there are reasons for both sides, but just stop it. Stop it. We can go back to Torah and say, God has promised the land, blah, blah, blah. Let's stop it. Let's start from here and now, today, where we are. Two people who hate each other in the same piece of land, the size of Wales. Come on, guys. So let's find a way. Okay, so a few announcements. So tomorrow is Beitenu holiday, so there will be a service. And I'm not going to carry on talking about the war, the atrocities in Gaza. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about the 7 Noahide laws. Have you heard about that? Yes. And the others? No. So I'm not going to say anything, so maybe you'll come tomorrow. But, there's 7 laws for all human beings. And there's always this universal dimension in any religion. And I found in Parashat Noach, the parasha that we're reading at the moment, this mention of the 7 Noahide laws. Yeah, Linda, you're right. Hostage free is such a great news. And this is what we need. So there are two U.S. hostages being released by Hamas, Judith and Natalie Ra'anan. Yeah, it's good news. Yeah, we need good news as well. And, okay, so tomorrow, book crushes, thank you. Yeah, I forgot about it. Sarah will really hate me if I forget. Book crushes tomorrow is... yes. Okay, Mosaic tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. It's in here. I don't know if you can go in the Kehila garden. We'll see the weather. So biblical and Aramaic. I don't think. No. Okay. There's no Explain Judaism this week. Next week there's a choral Shabbat service, which I will co-lead with Rebecca Weddell, and next Shabbat, Shabbat morning service led by Rabbi Janet Darley, and of course I'm sure Vince will bring his guitar and play. And the following week, Shabbat Ruchani with Lior Locher, or Loscher, I don't know how it's Locher, it's a German name. She's going to come and present her work and talk about artistic work. Can I announce today, or do we need to wait for... Yeah, okay, so it's a real pleasure to announce that Nicola has agreed to be our security officer for careless, and Nicola is a doer. When she says I do, she does. So Nicola, thank you so much. There will be lots of resources from the CST. We've got this counterterrorism unit that will come to talk to us about. We just need to confirm the date. We can. Yes, okay. I'm just waiting for Rabbi Yecheskel to see. Okay. I will confirm, but I will invite Rabbi Yecheskel as well. He will talk to us. So and Rebecca and Craig have done a great job about really thinking through the whole security situation. We safe, don't worry. We just need to be careful and better be prepared than saying sorry. But sadly, this is the world we live in. Sandra Weber, mosaic indoors. Okay, yeah, you're right. Security. Yeah. I mean, it's still a nice room, and you can bring some music, cakes, and teas, and coffees, and everything. If you have a chocolate cake, I might stay. Okay. So yeah, it's been such a weird week, a weird time, but it's good to be together. Let's finish our service now. So, for Neil, we're going to do the Aleinu on page 520. I know that Neil is probably the prayer that he's waiting for the most during the whole service. Page 520, and also for Sandra Levina. I saw her name online. Have you left? Have you gone for a drink, Sandra? No, she's there. Okay. Page 520, Aleinu. Please stand. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים עמען, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. ואלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים עמען, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Creator of the universe, you give us life in which joys and sorrows are commingled in accordance with your wisdom, and you send death with its promise of eternal peace. Oh, sorry, I can't read this one. Life is finite. Like a candle, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades, its substance is consumed and is no more. Yet we do not despair, for we know that we are more than a flickering flame. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of life, darkness and light, of death and life. And on this Shabbat, we remember Harry Fisher, the father of Mimi Zadeh, and we also hold in our hearts all the victims of the Hamas a couple of weeks ago. The list is too long to read it tonight. Do you have any other names you'd like to remember? Zichronam livracha, may their memory be a blessing, and we say together, page 524. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה, יתבהר וישתבר ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן. Please be seated. Page 526. יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבר, נמצא בין עת למציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו. אין לו דמות הגוף ואין לו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו. קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל, אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שהוד, נביא ומביט את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, דתו לעולמים לזולתו. צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו. גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו. ישפוך לקץ ימים על כל בשר רוחו, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו. חיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, בחור עדי עד שם תהילתו. חיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. Please stand. תתקבל צלותון ובהותון בכל ישראל, קודם מבוכון ובשמיה ואמרו אמן. May the prayers and supplications of the house of Israel everywhere be accepted by the loving Creator. And let us say amen. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to you online as well. Hope you have a nice evening. Ba-bum, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.